Alright, so in order to build rings or bracelets, you have to have a really good grain structure, like hardened copper. When you hammer copper, it becomes hard. So you can do that same trick with chemicals. This tank has been going, and its current structure in the tank goes in a certain direction. Notice that, like, these two poles are back here, okay? We would say that these would never be in the same place anywhere in any tank. So if I look over here, they're in a different place. Also, so many things dictate your current structure that to match current structures, it'd be impossible. So when I take all the rings out of this tank and move them into this tank towards the end of the cycle and let them grow, I'm going to have a different structure of copper growing now from this tank to this tank. That different structure is kind of like wood grain. So wood grain goes in all one direction. If I want it to be super strong, I can put it in another direction by moving it over to this tank and then moving it over to that tank. And depending on how structured I want it, I can just move it all over to like 7 tanks if I wanted to. 2 is usually sufficient though. You could tell the difference between the different types of copper by taking this lead and try bending it by hand. It's very hard. You can't do that. I can't do that. Yeah, that's not bending. And if you go to cut it, you'll see that it's hard to cut too. So if you want really super strong things like rings and bracelets with electroforming, I would highly suggest you move or rotate your pieces between 2 tanks with the same chemical structure but the different current structure. Alright, so I hope that helps. It makes sense. You probably have to watch some of my earlier videos or take my class in order to really understand it, but there you go. Enjoy.